Boker Tov, good morning. Today is Friday, May 28th, Erev Shabbat, Parshat Behaalotcha, and I share words of Torah with you from Yerushalayim, where I am staying till I fly back on Motzi Shabbos. So Moshe turns to Chovav, his father-in-law, as the Parsha lays it out for us. And he says to him, L'chai tanu v'hitabnu lach, we want you to come with us, and it will be good for you. Ki diber Hashem tov al Yisrael, because God has spoken good of Israel, with good intentions and plans for us. Yitro is unready to do that. He says, I'm not going to go. Lo elech, I'm going back to my own land and my birthplace. That's where I'm going. And Moshe begs him, Al na ta'azov otanu, please don't leave us. Ki al ken yadatach hanotenu b'midbar, because you have, therefore, it's a strange phrase, but you have known our encampments in the wilderness. V'hayita lanu le'inayim. V'hayita lanu le'inayim. And that phrase is the one I want to hone in on for a moment. How do you translate that? V'hayita lanu. So is it a past tense word? You have been for us as eyes, and you've been through what you've so much with us into the wilderness, so we need you to continue, as some of Farshim will read this. But another way to read this is, no, v'hayita lanu einayim, we need you. We need you to be eyes for us. What does that mean? What is Moshe getting at when he tells Chovav, a.k.a. Yitro, you will be our eyes? And there's some recognition that it's important that others see what you are experiencing, not just you or the people that are in your circle or in your nation even. You can only see things in a certain way, but the outsider can see things, important things, that might not be seen by the people inside. So that's a one component here. But it's just not any outsider. Not just any outsider. It's someone who is yadata chanotenu bamidbar. You have known our encampments in the wilderness. You appreciate what it is that we have been going through. You understand our lives and our lot and our mission and our dreams. And so you come with your open eyes, but you do so generously and lovingly and engagingly, in a way that is not then just harsh and outsider-ish, in a way which is hostile. You come as connected to us. And that's in many ways how I viewed my opportunity this past week here in Israel, where thankfully I don't have to see myself as really outsider. I'm not a Moabite. I'm not Moabite Chovav. I'm a Jew with my kin here in Israel, and I come representing all of you who have been following some of my messages that I've shared, to see with my own eyes what is transpiring. I don't know how much of what I see is going to translate into advice for Medinat Yisrael, and they're not going to be asking me my opinion on most matters. But it was important for the ministry, the foreign ministry, to ensure that we came here this week. They did an end run, as I might have mentioned earlier, around some of the usual rules, because they really wanted siblings, kin, loving family to come from abroad, to see, to be eyes for what has gone on here, and to help process it for ourselves and for people across the ocean, and to do so out of love. So I'm still processing. There's just been so much that we saw in our time for over 2 days I'm still trying to make sense of what's happened. I think that it's not yet time to make sense. What I picked up from certainly our second day of visits, which were in Lod, a sense of a world that's in Shiva for a dream of shared society that would function those mixed towns, and the efforts that were made in that town, in Lod, to bring the Israeli Arab and Israeli Jewish communities in some way to live side by side, and they're reeling. They really are reeling from what has transpired, what it means for neighbors to participate in destruction of your home or your car or of your presence there. It's not a simple matter, and it's not just the Israeli Jewish community which is reeling in let's say in Lod where we were, but it's the people who really care on the other side, who've worked hard to create this sense of shared society from the Arab side. And we met some of those people, and they too are really grieving about a dream and wondering how could it be that their community allowed themselves to reach where they did, along with the really unfortunate, tragic components of criminal elements that live on the streets, and the poverty there that certainly has added to a sense of abandon of rules and norms that we would hope in a society we would have. So that's what I got to see with my eyes, I and my colleagues together, to see and to listen and to hear, and now to process, but to do so not with the harsh, critical eye that is so often what the rest of the world brings to what happens in this beautiful land of Israel. They come ready to see evils and ready to see generally an Israeli society and government which is hostile to all the values of that we moderns have about equality and the like, and they come already with their story formed, and we come with a story formed too, which is the generous story, which of Chanotenu Bamidbar, because we've been through much of these journeys together with our brothers and sisters here in Israel. And it doesn't mean that we then turn a blind eye, that we will have eyes that are open, and indeed to help ourselves learn lessons and help share those lessons with the world, and for the world to know that that Israel is not perfect, but it's not evil. It's not perfect, but it's not evil, and that's upon us. That's the work that we have to do. And I know I'm coming back to the United States to join you in what is also a hostile environment right now, the anti-Zionist and anti-Semitic energies that are moving about. We have what to worry. We have what to worry together, but also at the same time to have our eyes towards that which is good and yet work to help bring us there. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and I look forward to sharing more with you on my return. I know there are two plans in place. One is for the UJA Federation to do a Zoom panel discussion with myself and the other three Westchester rabbis who participated on our trip next Thursday, I believe at noon. And we're hoping if we can arrange it to have a shul oneg on next Shabbat, in which I'll share reflections, and I think Alex Kahn is gonna play a role in interviewing me about the experiences, and we'll talk together more as indeed we work to process all that has transpired and all that can yet still be. Shabbat Shalom to you all, my friends.